Okay? Now, how many of us have gotten stuck in the one that got away? All right? Where we keep reaching back saying, if only this had happened. Okay? And just think about all the energy. When you do that, think about all the energy that you're financing to the past. Think about all the energy that you're financing to something that didn't happen. Warren Buffett goes on to say, he says, the truth is, everything that has happened in my life that I thought was a crushing event at the time has turned out for the better. Setbacks teach lessons that carry you along. You learn that a temporary defeat is not a permanent one. In the end, it can be an opportunity. So I'm reading this, and I thought it was really interesting that this Nobel laureate, Harold Varmus, is also the president of Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York, that he was turned down twice by Harvard Medical School. Not once, but twice. He kept going. That's the message this morning. He kept going. That Scott McNeely, the co-founder, chairman, and CEO of Sun Microsystem, was denied admission to both Stanford and Harvard business schools. But you know what? He kept going. So that's the key. That's the key to this morning's lesson. That these things that were setbacks at that time, that they occurred in these people's lives are today, and I'm going to keep drilling that term in, today they're viewed as minor footnotes. Now think about a footnote on a page in a book, and tell me how big it is. Okay? In other words, it was part of their dreams. And yes, they were disappointed. But they didn't get stuck. They didn't stay there. They didn't make a story out of it. And most importantly, they didn't make it a law. Dr. Holmes tells us, this is one of my favorite pages in the textbook. One night in class, my book just kept opening to it. Page 118, Dr. Holmes says, suppose one has thought poverty year after year. He has thereby personified a law that continues to perpetuate this condition. If the thought is not erased, the condition will remain. A law has been set in motion which says, I am poor, and sees to it that this is so. This is at first an autosuggestion. Then it becomes an unconscious memory working day and night. This is what decides how the law of attraction works in our lives. Okay? See, and what we want to recognize is that if we keep practicing the perception of loss, at some point it's going to turn into the consciousness of loss. And once it becomes the consciousness of loss, we don't even have to consciously think it. It's just gonna show up. Because that's the consciousness we have set for the law. The one that got away. I was talking with someone one day who was having a repeated experience and identifying with loss. And every time this particular experience would happen, this person would start adding it to the last experience. They said, okay, that's one time. Then it happened again. Whoop, that's twice. That's the third time. That's the fourth time. And then when they ran out of experiences, they began to look to the future for when it could possibly happen again. So I said to that person, I listened to them for a while, and finally, when they finally said it to me, and not until they said it to me, I said, you might want to stop counting. You're creating a story, and the law is validating it. The law is perpetuating it. See? Our repeated perception becomes our belief, and that belief becomes our law. So we have to find a way. To let it go. Let it go. I was watching Storm Stories a couple of weeks ago. I shared this with my class. And there was the most fascinating story on 2 weeks ago, Sunday night. There was a man and a woman, a husband and wife. They were trapped in a flash flood in their truck during Tropical Depression Aaron. And they were stuck in that truck until a news helicopter that was flying by saw them and threw down life vests to them. Okay, so this wasn't a rescue helicopter. So there wasn't a whole lot that they could do, but they did throw down life vests to them. And the husband and wife took the life vest and put them on, and then they got into the bed of the truck. And they were holding on for dear life to the tool chest in the bed of the truck that was anchored to the truck. Now that would have been a really, really good idea, except for the fact that the truck was sinking. Right? So here's this couple. They're holding on to this tool chest for their dear life. And this helicopter that is not a rescue helicopter sees that they're really in trouble. The truck is in danger of going under. And so the helicopter lowers himself to this couple. And one of the people in the helicopter gets on the skid. And he reaches out his hand to the woman. He's in reaching distance to her. And she was terrified.